Hey there everybody, just doing a review for this GMM 300W mini portable power station and just taking a look at the box itself that the unit comes in. Over on this side, it does tell you that the unit does have a 5-watt LED flashlight. It tells you where the AC outlet is located. Over on this side, it just tells you everything that's located on the power station, I suppose you could say. And over on this side, it does give you the specifications and what's included in the box. And so what's included in the box is the manual, the power station itself, of course, and the AC charging brick. And so yeah, this is a really simple power station. It has a 300-watt max output and a 296 Wh capacity. However, I do have to mention that this does not feature lithium iron phosphate batteries. It still uses regular lithium ion batteries. And I think because of that, it's pretty low cost. So that's the good news. But if you're looking for a mini lithium iron phosphate 300-watt power station, this one might not be it for you. Yeah, just taking a look at the unit itself, it is definitely a mini one. It does have a 9 by 4 by 4 inch form factor, and it weighs about 7 pounds. So really easy to take anywhere that you want to. This large handle at the top does make it easier to hold, and you can take it nearly anywhere that you want to a picnic, camping, hiking. It's not like one of those really large high wattage, high capacity power stations that weigh 50 pounds. You can use it as a daily driver type of power station that you use in your house only. And so yeah, just taking a look at the front of the unit, it does have the DC cigarette lighter port with a 12 volt 10 amp output. In the middle, it does have the screen and the power buttons. You can just press this, turn on the unit. It does turn on the screen, and so the screen is pretty helpful. It does show the remaining power capacity, the estimated runtime, and the output wattage. Press the flashlight button right over here. By default, when you do press the flashlight button, it has the light already set to its high setting. That's its dim setting. That's the SOS mode. And one more time is the flashing mode, I suppose you could say. And there is also the DC power button that activates the DC cigarette lighter port and the charging ports right over here. It does not activate this port. This port right over here is the DC 5521 input port that you would use to recharge the power station. And it also has the AC button that turns on the 2 AC outlets right over here on this side of the power station right here. And so yeah, that's really about it. When it comes to like actually interacting with the power station, you just get the screen and the power buttons, and everything else just requires you plugging in something. And yeah, as I mentioned before, this is where the 2 AC outlets are located. They are rated for a pure sine wave 300-watt max output. I'll be testing that out. And over on this side, it does give you the specifications of the GMM power station. And yeah, with that said, I'm just going to get this unit charged up to 100% to run a AC capacity test and a DC capacity test to see how much of that 296 Wh capacity I can actually pull from the unit. And then we'll move on into testing out the charging ports. The charging ports are pretty impressive for this mini power station, I have to say. Just taking a look at the specifications, it does have a 100-watt USB-C power delivery port, which is a USB-C 1. USB-C 2 and the USB Type-A port share a 12-watt output. Kind of strange design, but it's fine because the USB Type-A number 2 port features a quick charge at 18 watts. So yeah, you get 100 watts, a 12-watt shared output between these two ports, and a 18-watt output from this port right over here. So I mean, I'm not complaining. And also I think USB-C 1 can be used to recharge this power station. Let me just take a quick look at that. And yeah, you can actually recharge this power station at 100 watts as well. That is actually faster than the solar recharging and the DC recharge, which you would use the AC charging brick for. So I wasn't expecting that. I didn't actually notice that. So recharging this power station using the USB-C port with a 100-watt power delivery wall charger is going to be the best way to recharge it. That's pretty cool because it's a more accessible way to recharge the unit. I really don't mind. I'm going to see if I can possibly use the AC charging brick and charger from the USB-C port at the same time. Alright guys, since I was going to run the AC and DC capacity test and recharge this power station back to its full power, I just thought why not show you guys the recharging as well. So I got the AC charging brick that's included with the power station right over here. I'm just going to plug that into the DC 5521 port. And so yeah, it just recharges the power station at 50 watts and also shows you the estimated recharge time, which is about 1 hour. And so I'm just going to test out if I can actually use the USB-C port and the DC port at the same time to get a faster recharge speed. It doesn't say in the specifications, but I'm just going to double check on that. And it doesn't seem like I'm able to use them both. Oh, wait, no. Okay, never mind. Okay, that's cool. 150 watts. There we go. Yeah, the recharging is great actually. And so using only the AC charging brick to recharge this GMM power station isn't probably the best idea because 50 watts is really slow. But using a, in this case, I'm using a U green charger, and this is a 100 watt USB-C port on this charger. But using a 100 watt USB-C power delivery charger is going to be a better idea. But what's best in this case is using the AC charging brick and a 100 watt power delivery wall charger to recharge the power station, because you're able to get a 150 watt input speed, and that can get this power station recharged back to 100% from 0 to 100 in about, like, I think 2 hours. That's pretty cool. Did they even note that in the specifications? Maybe I'm just blind. I can't see it anywhere. So yeah, I guess not. Okay, and so yeah, I'm just gonna let this recharge back to 100% to run the capacity testing. Alright guys, so just running the DC capacity test for this GMM power station. I'm using this load tester right over here. I just started the test, and I am pulling about 148 watts from the DC cigarette lighter port. And so this is actually a little bit better than what the port is able to output, because it's rated for 12 volts, 10 amps, and which is 120 watts. And so I'm actually pulling over the capabilities of the cigarette lighter port. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna keep it running like this until the capacity is down to 0% to see how much DC capacity efficiency I can actually pull from it. And I will be right back. Alright, you guys, so I did deplete the capacity down to 0% for this GMM power station. As you can see, yeah, 0% right there. And so the test ran for about 2 hours with a 140 watt draw of power. And so I was able to get 276 watt hours from the DC cigarette lighter port, and that gave me about a 93% efficiency rating. So yeah, you're able to use most of the capacity from this power station, of that 296 watt hour capacity from this GMM power station. So it's really good. Let me go ahead and get this charged up back to 100% to check out the AC capacity from the AC outlets to see how much capacity I can pull from them. And yeah, DC capacity went really well, and I will be right back to run the AC capacity test. Alright guys, so just doing a AC capacity test for the GMM power station, and I am powering this crock pot right over here at its high setting. I'm pulling about 194 watts, and I'm just going to wait for the power station to reach 0% to see about that AC capacity efficiency. And the reason why I have the power station laying down is because otherwise I couldn't plug in this watt meter to measure the watt hours. You know, when you're normally using the power station, I would not recommend laying it down like this. I'm pretty sure they recommend not laying it down this way. But yeah, for testing purposes, I had to do this. And yeah, I'll be right back to see about that AC capacity efficiency. Alright you guys, so I did run down the capacity for the GMM power station using this crock pot right over here. And so yeah, it is at 0%. And so what I ended up with was a 260 watt hour capacity. And that gave me about a 87% efficiency rating from the AC outlets on this power station. So a little lower than the DC capacity efficiency, but this is still really good. So you're able to use most of the AC capacity from this power station. And so overall, doing the DC and AC capacity test, this GMM power station has a really good efficiency with its capacity. So you're able to use most of the 296 watt hours that it features. And so yeah, I mean, as you can see, I got 260 watt hours right there, and efficiency is about 87%. And so yeah, 2 thumbs up for the capacity efficiency for this power station. Alright you guys, so in this case, while I'm recharging the GMM power station, I'm also able to use the AC outlets. So this power station does feature AC pass-through charging. I wasn't expecting this, but at the same time, most power stations do feature AC pass-through charging, and so you're able to recharge the unit and use the AC outlets at the same time. Alright guys, so just outside with the GMM power station, and I am solar recharging it using this Blue Yeti PV68 solar panel. And so this unit does have a 60 watt max solar recharging speed, and in this case I'm using a 68 watt solar panel. Probably not the best idea, but you know what, I just needed to test out the solar recharging. And in this case, the Blue Yeti solar panel is recharging this power station pretty well. I'm getting about 38 watts, as you can see right there. And so yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. And in this case, I'm using a MC4 to DC 5521 cable, and it's working really well. So yeah, you can solar recharge this power station. 60 watts isn't exactly too fast, but a 296 watt hour capacity is also pretty small. And as long as you're able to get a good wattage from a solar panel, it's going to be worth it if you want to recharge this power station using a solar panel. And so yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate that. As you can see, estimated recharge time is about 6 hours. We're currently at 26%. Alright you guys, so just here testing out the charging ports for the GMM power station. I am charging my Lenovo laptop right over here at about 30 watts. And I'm charging my Galaxy Note 9 from the USB Type A quick charge port, and I am able to fast charge it. And so yeah, the charging ports are working how they're supposed to. I did try to charge my Xetra's power bank, which has a 100 watt power delivery recharge speed from the USB-C port. But since this USB-C port is able to input and output, the power bank just kept trying to recharge the power station, so that didn't work out. I also attempted to recharge my Base's power bank at 65 watts from the USB-C port, and I was able to get a 65 watt recharge speed from this USB-C port to my Base's power bank. But I couldn't recreate the test on film for some reason. The Base's power bank just kept trying to recharge this GMM power station, so I couldn't recreate the test. However, the good news is that I was able to get a photo, and you can take a look at the photo over at chargerharbor.com with my review article on this power station. And so yeah, I mean, there we go. Charging ports are really good, you know, especially the 100 watts of power delivery coming from USB-C 1. You know, for the most part, like that's usually something that's on higher capacity power stations, and in this case, GMM did a really good job of featuring a 100 watt USB-C port on such a small unit. So yeah, thumbs up right there. Alright you guys, so just doing a load test for the GMM power station. So in this case, I do have this DC load tester right over here that I used for the DC capacity test. And the reason for that is because this large crock pot and the mini crock pot together, they had like a max output of about like 260 watts, 270 watts. And I didn't quite reach that 300 watt output for the power station. So in this case, I just used this to reach that 300 watt max output for the unit. And so yeah, I have the load tester running at about like 24 watts. And so in this case, I'm just going to have the power station run for about 10 minutes. We're currently at a 300 watt output going on. It just keeps going up a little by little. and I think that's because of the load tester. But I'm just going to consider this to be a 300 watt output. I am kind of surprised that it's not automatically shutting down right now. So that's actually a good thing, because it's able to run just a little bit over the 300 watt max output it's rated for. So I mean, that's a good sign as well. And so yeah, I'm just going to have this run for 10 minutes to see if it's actually able to handle the 300 watts continuously. And so yeah, I mean, I do have this mini crock pot at its high setting, and I do have the large crock pot at its high setting as well. I'm going to be right back to see if it's still running after 10 minutes. All right, you guys, so just past 10 minutes, currently at about like 10 minutes and 25 seconds. And the power station is still running, and the crock pots are still being powered, along with the load tester connected to the DC cigarette lighter port. And yeah, I mean, the power station performed really well. It's still running. It didn't automatically shut off, even when it's running at about 305 watts continuously. Yeah, nothing much else to say about it. I can definitely hear the fan. The fan is probably working as hard as it can to keep the unit cool. Also, another thing, the fan is really quiet. I mean, you can probably hear it right now if I put my phone up. You can probably hear the fan, but it's not loud, of course, because, you know, it's a small fan for a small power station. All right, guys, so I just wanted to check out what would happen if I turn on the heater using an AC outlet over to the side of the GMM power station. And so, of course, it's not going to be able to handle it. It's just going to go straight over 300 watts and automatically shut off. I mean, I'm going to assume that's what's going to happen, right? I mean, it can't handle 750. Yeah, there we go. Yep. And so, yeah, I mean, there we go. This power station, I would consider it to have a 300 watt cap, so you can't go over the 300 watts. Otherwise, the power station is going to automatically shut off at some point, likely in the 310 watt plus range, I would say, because when I ran the DC and AC output simultaneously, you know, I was able to continuously run 310 watts for about 10 minutes, and, you know, nothing happened. And so yeah, I mean, there we go. The power station does perform how it's supposed to. Of course, this heater is way overkill. This unit could power a 200 watt, 300 watt mini heater, and so that's where it would like perform really well. Alright, you guys, that is my review for the GMM 300W portable power station. Yeah, overall, my final thoughts on it. It just has a pretty good build quality. I think this is GMM's first power station, and they did a solid job. I mean, the one thing that I don't like is that it doesn't feature lithium iron phosphate. If it did, that'd be even better. But in this case, it just uses regular lithium ion. But other than that, I mean, it's a solid power station. The capacity efficiency on the DC and AC side is just really good. I scored like about what, an 87% on the AC capacity and a 93% for the DC capacity. It features pass-through charging. It would have been nice to have a direct AC input instead of using the regular old DC charging brick in the box. But at the same time, the USB-C 100-watt power delivery input does make up for this DC input speed. The solar recharging worked also pretty well. You can use a solar panel to recharge this unit, and also it's built well. It's just made of plastic like any other power station on it. Just keep it away from water, and don't drop the unit, and you're gonna be good. Yeah, overall, it's also a really small power station. This is not what I would call a solar generator. This is mainly meant for charging your devices, powering small appliances like a mini blender, a mini heater, and just think about those mini appliances that you want to power, and this is going to be really reliable to use with. And so down in the description below, I will have a link to the product page for this power station. I will also have a link to the review article that I've written over at chargerharbor.com. You can find both those things down in the description below. And yeah, also one other thing I want to mention is that the screen shows the estimated runtime. Some of these 300-watt low capacity power stations don't feature an estimated runtime, so that's actually pretty cool to see. And yeah, overall, that's my review for this power station, and I will see you all on the next video. All right, goodbye.